Tonight we have a very special guest, very beautiful. All you horny guys, pay attention. This is the ultimate pecker picker-upper. She's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's been in the business for about 10 years. We are very glad to have tonight Kay Parker. It's good to have you here, Kay.
Am I all together here?
Those two tits are magnificent and beautiful.
Thanks.
Kay, you've seen the business change. When you started several years ago, the business was more amateurish. Have you seen the business evolve into a better industry, or do you feel it's gone backwards?
Well, for a while there, we were making really nice movies. The budgets were high, and talent was good, and not to say that talent isn't good anymore. I better watch my words here. But in the last couple of years, we've seen the video boom, and unfortunately, that has meant that budgets have dropped. A lot of people have come into the business, and there's a lot of product out there, and unfortunately, from my way of thinking, a lot of it is not so great. Hopefully, it'll sort of phase out. A lot of the videos will phase out, and we'll maybe get back to some, what I consider real quality. I hope so.
And that's exactly why I've invited you here, because what you are now on is going to be, I think, the new wave. It's going to be sex films as fun, sex films as Hell's a Poppin', Olsen and Johnson, sort of a Saturday Night Live with tits and ass. And we're going to aim something for a younger, hipper audience. And that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. In spite of the fact that I think this will have a light touch and a raunchy touch, do you think a sex film can do any good? Can it teach somebody something that's useful?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of the feedback that I get when I go out into the world out there and talk to people is that a lot of people really look to adult films for sexual instruction. I was one of those people.
In what way? Were you a bad? Did you not find you were turned on when a guy ate your pussy? I mean,
I was uncomfortable with it.
With pussy
yeah,
eating?
all of it. All of it. I was uncomfortable with my sexuality when I first got into adult films. If you look at some of my earlier films, you can tell that I was a lot stiffer in those days and rather introverted, you know. And it's kind of fun to watch clips from my own films and see how I've evolved sexually.
Are you a better sexual partner now?
Oh, absolutely. But it's more because of who I am. I've grown as a person, you see. And as you grow in life, as you mature, I think, you know, you become more comfortable with yourself and your own sexuality, and it's like a good wine, you know, it just matures.
Well, I see you sort of like a Latour in 1966. But do you think that most women out there in Videoland know how to suck a guy's, know how to bring him off, know how to give him pleasure? Do you think most women and most guys are bad?
I can't generalize about things like that, but I do know that there are a lot of people who are not comfortable with it, and they do watch adult films to maybe get some tips, find, you know, some different techniques. I think that's true.
Is there anything you would not do in your personal sexual life that you would do in a film?
That's an interesting twist. Probably. Well, you know, in my own sex life, it's just myself and the person, and I just really, you know, I'm a heart person. Where's my heart? There's my heart. And you know, so I check into the person's heart, and we communicate from that angle. And then the sex is just the icing, you know, on the cake, and it's great and satisfying. You know, on film, it's a lot different. So yeah, I mean, there's a difference. Even though I always go for a real nice connection with my partner on screen, too. I think that speaks for itself.
Would you have sex with a Jewish guy? A fat Jewish guy?
You know, I noticed that a lot of guys in adult films are Jewish.
Well, that's because they're getting laid for nothing and being paid for it. And it appeals to the Jew in us. I mean, Jewish guys grew up wanting pussy, and suddenly here we're in a world where it's available. I mean, it's fantastic. But would you fuck a fat Jewish guy with a blue T-shirt? Not that I know any here. I'm just sure. I mean, I'm trying to.
You're putting me on the spot.
Just say yes. No. You are in a film, I'm told, called Lorelei. It's a recent film. Can you tell us a little bit about it, sort of set up what the film's about and some of the surrounding participants in this work?
Lorelei was a video which I have been reluctant to appear in just because they're shot rather quickly and they're low budget, so there's not much room to really get in there and do a good acting job. In this case, I had the opportunity to work with some old friends who are very good actors. Arbola is one.
Jewish?
And yes, he is.
He's Jewish.
He's wonderful. And Billy D, who's one of my all-time favorites.
Well, he's black. That doesn't count.
Oh, yeah, but I'm kind of partial. Anyway, and the young man, Danny Mann, And so I had some really nice people to work with. I had a good time, and I think it shows.
Well, why don't we go roll and take a look at some of those clips?
Okay, why not?
Well, boys, that certainly was fun. But now that I have my designs back, the show must go on. Don't worry, Lance, darling. I'm going to design a gown especially for you in my fall collection. Now, just remember one thing. Never underestimate the powers of a woman. And never, never underestimate the powers of Lorelei.